Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. Today we are discussing TNXP Pharmaceuticals or NASDAQ TNXP. Now we've discussed this on the channel before. You guys who have seen my previous videos over the last couple months, you know exactly what we're talking about here. So this is a stock that went from under 15 cents to $1.94 within a very short period of time. And so depending on, where you bought this thing, you may be feeling pretty flustered or you may be feeling pretty good about things. But regardless, there's been a lot of volatility. And so, even if you did buy under 15 cents a share, it's come back under 40 cents a share now. Okay. So just keep that in mind. With any of these stocks, you're going to be dealing with extremely high risk with the potential for high returns. And so that's true of any penny stocks or cryptocurrencies that we discuss on the channel or anything like that. So just always keep that in mind and always look at your own risk tolerance and your own investing goals to ensure that you're investing based upon what is going to be best for you long term. Now, TNXP Pharmaceuticals is now covered by StockNews.com. That's the first thing I want to get into. So we began coverage on shares of TNXP Pharmaceuticals or TNXP in a free report that was issued on Wednesday morning. The brokerage also issued a hold rating for the stock. So if we click on this free report, I wonder if we can actually get this. It says here's a free report. So you put in your email and you can actually get this sent. I'm going to get this sent to my email right now, actually. And you can read that. So here it is. So about TNXP Pharmaceuticals has the company overview. It has the stock price news and analysis. The price target on this, pretty high. Okay, so if you look at this is where it gets interesting, $53.50. Now, I assume this price target, I haven't looked over this, is based upon basically them getting FDA approval, right? So this is what's important. Okay, so TNXP Pharmaceuticals announces goal date of August 15th, 2025 for FDA decision on U.S. marketing approval for the TNX 102SL for fibromyalgia. So day 74 letter granting TNX 102SL a prescription drug user fee act, goal date of August 15th, 2025. TNX 102SL is a non-opioid, centrally acting analgesic granted fast track designation by the FDA. Fibromyalgia affects more than 10 million adults in the U.S. who are mostly women, and TNX 102SL has the potential to be the first member of a new class of analgesic drugs, I can't even pronounce that, of fibromyalgia, and first new drug for its treatment in more than 15 years. So these are some of the important considerations here. August 15th, 2025 is the goal date. Now, one of the major risks I do see with this stock going forward is that we are still under $1 per share. And one thing that the NASDAQ really prides itself on is having its stocks above $1 per share. So when it comes to this, we have to get the share price up. And what we did see recently is that looks like Savvy Management, I took a filing here from, it was actually something, here it is. So Securities and Exchange Commission, Savvy Management did add a position. Now, whatever you think of this, 1.3 million shares. It looks like there are some institutions buying this, obviously. It's still traded on the NASDAQ. So keep that in mind. You're going to have institutions buying and, taking risk and stuff. But yeah, 1.3 million shares, the shared voting powder. So at the current price, you can do the math on how much that is. Really, when you think about the grand scheme and the volume this is trading, it's actually not that much, to be honest. Just because this is trading hundreds of millions of shares. I think on Friday, we actually traded over 100 million shares in this stock. And so if you look at, a million or 1.3 million shares, in fact, here's the volume, 108 million shares, between 29 and 36 cents per share. And so the volatility, as you can see, is extreme. Going into the post-market, pre-market, pretty stable. But we had this huge spike up to 36 cents very briefly in the, last portion of the market trading, basically. Now, if we look at where this is traded also, this is really where it peaked off. So when we look at where this traded in the pre-market, when that news came out, it was basically a buy the rumor, sell the news type deal, because what happened was before that morning, it was going up to like 50, 60, 70 cents. And then it went all the way up to basically $1.94, sold off basically to 60 cents by the end of the trading day. So that's how crazy this thing got. And so it wasn't that, we saw the intraday trading above $1, right, to $1.35, and then it started gapping down once the market opened. But it hit $1.94 in the pre-market. So you had to be really quick if you wanted to, get out at those prices. But that's what has happened, and now we're kind of on the downtrend. So we had this huge parabolic move, very short window of opportunity. That's a lot of times how it is. That's why you have to be ready to sell. I took my profits on this, and they say not to touch the same stock twice. If this went back down to 15 or 20 cents, I feel like it might be, a decent buy again, 10 cents, 20 cents, based upon the risk profile. Even if this does get delisted, still on the NASDAQ, let's say it goes down to the OTC markets, which is the next tier under the NASDAQ. First of all, you're going to have a big drop in liquidity. You're going to have a big drop in market making activity from a lot of the institutional firms. So that's going to be something to really challenge this stock. But the other thing is financing. When you have a low share price and you have lower liquidity on the OTC markets, that's something else to consider. When you're trying to finance debt or equity, it can get a lot more expensive at those cheap prices. Does that increase the potential of them doing a reverse split to maintain a listing on the NASDAQ? I would say yes, especially with August 15th, 2025 being the goal date for this stock. Now, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the stock price does go above $1 before the reverse split happens and they get back in compliance. But I'm just saying, let's hope that happens, because obviously, reverse splits are generally not viewed positively. Now, this company has done a lot of reverse splits, and that's typical with biotech stocks as well. So always keep that in mind. So here's that 13G. We just went over the 1.3 million shares, and it shows the percent of the class and everything, 0.7%. So it kind of goes over. I believe it should be common shares, from my understanding. I don't think it's preferred shares. I could be wrong. But yeah, if it's common shares, we traded 100 million shares on Friday alone, right? So before the market closed. Once again, this is the important news, August 15th, 2025. So can we get that 10x? Can we get back to, $2, $5 a share is the real question. I think it's going to be so important that this happens, obviously. And then obviously, if they can maintain a listing on the NASDAQ and maintain the liquidity and everything they're getting, even if they do have to reverse split again because they're under $1, maybe it's not as devastating, especially with this coming potentially by August 15th, 2025, if they can, take this out a little longer before they do the reverse split as it gets closer to the decision. And then maybe a reverse split happens shortly before the decision. And then if the decision is positive, I think this type of news would send it parabolic if it was approved for sale and marketing. That's just my opinion. I don't think it would be a sell the rumor type thing in that case. And maybe in that case, with that analysis we were looking at, $56 a share. Who knows? There's a lot of wild price targets out there, but when you think about the potential of this, if this did get approved, it could be parabolic, right? So that's what we're really waiting on. This is the important piece of news right here. Looking at the technicals, we can kind of see where this has been trading. And, it got up to, as you can see, 61 cents. This is not actually accurate in terms of where it hit intraday, but this is where it hit intraday, and that's the crazy part. So it came down a lot. Very, very short window of opportunity there. But, I was able to get out just not as much as I would hope or would have hoped to, right? Because first of all, in your broker, you have to set up like pre-market trading, and then you have to put the trades through it, designating them as pre-market a lot of times. So unless you're like up at 5 in the morning, good luck. But it's still opened at $1.35 and then sold off to 60 cents. As you can see, 31 cents now. Can it go to $2 a share? Can this thing go parabolic? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Here's another chart from, if we go to, kind of this spike up here. This also does not show the pre-market trading, but it does show the, just kind of where this has been. As you can see, there's still some very large gaps in the chart that could be filled. And even if they do a reverse split, the equivalent of these gaps would still be on the chart. So keep that in mind if that were to happen. So, you have a gap all the way up to $3 a share here. If I zoom in, hold on, sorry. It's kind of hard to see, but it's actually about $3 a share right there, up to $3, down to $2 a share. We have a gap from $1 to $2 a share again. So if we take this back up to an even higher gap, a much higher gap actually, I think the next one would be, well, this one was already filled, it looks like. That takes us up to $21 though. That's, $21 a share. Pretty crazy, right? This one right here, this has not been filled. This would take us all the way up to 37, and then 43 at the base there, the bottom part of the 43 to I guess $45 a share with that huge gap right there on the chart. So that's pretty exciting to think about. Really exciting, actually, especially when you're seeing analysis. They're still coming out with $50 price targets. We've talked about this in these videos before about TNXP, about how the price targets have gone up to $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, even higher. I've seen some on the low end at $2 to $5 a share. So, just a lot of things to consider here. Always consider your own risk tolerance. Like I said, this is what we want to focus on here. FDA Day 74 letter, TNX 102SL, Prescription Drug User Fee Act, PDUFA, goal date of August 15th, 2025. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What stocks do you think are set to skyrocket in 2025? I just saw this ad pop up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, guys. Oh, look, 3 stocks to buy with 20 bucks. Well, shoot, I can't resist that. We're going to, why not? We're going to go and sign up here. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. God bless you all. Happy New Year, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.